Absolutely.
So, Josh, can you clarify the bonus? He will receive that bonus. Mike will get the additional $340,000.
Correct.
Okay.
And like I said, it's a combination of the work that he did at the beginning of the year and then also the work he's doing. What we anticipate being 45 to 50 days if you count January 27th through the end of the season.
What is it that you've seen from him so far that makes you confident in this decision?
I think it's the same thing that we saw at the beginning of the year and the same things that we saw as an assistant coach, quite honestly. He does a terrific job with establishing his expectations for the guys in the locker room. And as I've always said, I want to make sure that we have a very high standard, and it's a standard of excellence. And if anybody around the program is not living up to that expectation, as you can see, there's going to be consequences. And so he's going to set the tone from the jump. He did that back at the beginning of the season, and don't expect him to change anything as the season comes to a conclusion there.
Mike has talked a lot about standard and obviously made a personnel decision in that regard last night. Have you guys been pretty aligned in that regard?
Very aligned, absolutely. Mike called me on Sunday, and we talked through that decision, and I told him I'd support him 100%. And so that's what we're going to plan to do. And if we need to have additional decisions like that, we'll make them. And like I said, Mike Pegues he's our head coach, and it's my job to support him.
Is it fair to take the net loss on this? Giving him a bonus, but taking 2 years off his contract.
Well,
what's his incentive?
Well, if you look at his contract language, and I guess if you call it the fine print, right? If Chris Mack was no longer serving as the head coach, he essentially had a 60-day contract, and so we're actually giving him a little longer runway, which is what we needed to do because we want him extremely focused on the task at hand, which is coaching this team.
If he continues to prove himself as a leader, will he be considered for the full-time job?
I think I said it last Wednesday when I said the qualification is a good basketball coach. As far as who's going to be our next basketball coach, that's the only qualification we have right now, and Mike fits that. So absolutely.
Josh, obviously, coaches are playing games. I don't know what you can do at this early stage of a coaching search, but what kind of steps can you take in a search at this point?
Right now, I think it's a lot of research and due diligence, and once again, like I said last Wednesday, it's listening to the community and all the stakeholders and making sure we know exactly what we're looking for in a head coach, so that when it is time to have those conversations, we can have them efficiently, and we can make a decision.
Do you intend to use a search firm?
Presumably. I think we'll have an answer on that here in the next couple of days.
Do you have any notion, you expect this to be a process that takes to the end of the season when you can maybe actually talk to more candidates, or is there another process that it may?
I think for us to vet the most highly qualified candidates, it's going to take us some time. And I would hope that if there's coaches out there that are focused on their team, they're not having conversations about their next job. And so we'll make sure we take as much time as we need to have all the conversations that we need to have to find the right coach.
As of this morning, there had not been an RFP issued for your job. Do you have any doubt that you were going to make this hire?
I don't. I fully expect to make this hire, and that's how I go to bed every night, and I can promise you I'm not getting a lot of sleep as I'm thinking about it, because this is a big decision. I understand how big of a decision this is. I understand how much this basketball program and this university means to this community, and we need to make sure that we find the right leader for it, and that's what we expect to do.
How did you interpret Saturday's crowd, both the size of it and the reaction?
Hopeful. I think that's how I would describe it. I just think that our fans were looking for something to cheer, and I think the team gave them that on Saturday afternoon.
Josh, for you, I mean, if you do make the hire for the coach, do you feel pressure to try to get it right, or what's been your feelings on that?
Yeah, you feel pressure to make decisions, right? This is a big decision. I don't feel overwhelmed by any stretch of the imagination. I think that I have the contacts. I think I have the knowledge. I think I have the ability to listen to make sure that we find the right person for this job.
Have you consulted anybody else for advice about how to go about this process, be it search committee or on your own?
Yeah, I've talked to a number of folks, and nothing specifically, but I think that's one of the things that I try to do really hard, or try to do quite frequently, is just listen, because very rarely am I the first person doing something for the first time. Pretty sure it's never happened. And so there's probably some sort of blueprint or multiple blueprints. And so trying to find as much information as I can and then create our own plan.
There's been a lot of speculation about Kenny Payne. Have you personally been in touch with him?
I have not had any conversations with Kenny, and but I can tell you all the success that he's had at UK. Once again, I go back to the one qualification: a good basketball coach, and he fits that.
Do you think there's any issue with his ties to Nike and yours to Adidas?
I don't think so. No. Ultimately, those companies are looking to hire athletes at the professional level, right? That's really their end game. And we're not in the professional ranks, and so he's still going to have those contacts, and they're still going to try to achieve their goal of signing athletes at the professional level.
Obviously, you don't make decisions based off what fans say, but do you hear the chatter and what fans have said in terms of what they would like to see?
No, like I said it Wednesday, right? Student athletes are first, universities right there with them, and then a close second is our fans. Right, they're the lifeblood of this program, especially in a city like Louisville. I think I'd be pretty foolish to say that I shouldn't listen to the fans in some form or fashion. Absolutely.
One more question.